morning, and we see the USS Enterprise going up the Pacific coast.
See this picture. An old man's story. Roland Willits was sitting aboard the USS Enterprise, and you've heard previous stories of that. But I had the opportunity to go with the Enterprise to dry dock in Washington State. And they had a repair facility there. And you gotta get, there is nothing bigger in the whole world that runs all by itself, independent, than the USS Enterprise. At least it was in the middle 60s. I think there's a bigger aircraft carrier since then. And man, was that an experience. And we got up there, and it was exciting. One of the most exciting things was going in. They were going into what they called dry dock. In dry dock, they take this thing that's almost a half-mile long, and they take all the water out from around it, and it just sits on holding platforms. But the exciting thing was I got an opportunity to be on the bridge. The bridge is the part where they direct the ship from, and it's way up high. It's about 250 feet up. And when you're up there in the bridge, you really can't see straight down on either side. The only thing that you can see is an angle of where it is. And so we were going in there, and they had what they call a pilot directing us in. Now, this was exciting. Man, I watched this pilot come up. I'd never seen him on the ship. He'd never touched our ship ever. And he was going to direct the ship into a dry dock. And they had a path with man-made channels. And you got to get how deep these things were to fit in the Enterprise. They were really, really deep, but they weren't that wide. And on it, they had some sharp right angle turns. So this fella got in, took controls from the captain, and started directing us down these channels. Now, to me, I sat there and was absolutely terrified. I mean, there was nothing I was supposed to do but survive up there and keep a lookout, which I didn't even know what to do. But it was an awesome view. And you went down, and when they went down these channels, you could not see water on either side of this boat. It was land on both sides. You felt like you were driving down a road because there was green land on both sides. And this pilot did not go dirt slow. He went fast for this ship. I mean, he went fast. He was not going to stop this thing for a quarter mile if he had to. And I looked up ahead, and there was, because you could see a little water way in front, there was a sharp turn. And I said, oh, he is not going to make that. And he was going fast, and the reason he was going fast is you really can't make a good turn on a ship unless you've got some speed on it. And he got one prop going one direction, he got the other prop going the other direction, and all of a sudden the land disappeared in front of the ship and the bow started turning. Well, that pilot brought it around that curve like going onto a freeway. It just sailed around there. He touched nothing. There was no land touch. Oh, was I impressed. That was magic. Man, this was cool. And I had the opportunity to sit up there and watch this happening. Well, he made a couple more turns, and then he got down where the dry docks are, and he scooted that thing around, and then I'm not sure if he was back in or put the stern in first or the bow in first. I think put the stern in first. But he backed into this place, and then these big doors, huge doors, mega doors, closed. And when they backed in, it took like almost a whole day to back in. And then they must have had preset, because they had divers out there. They were going down, and they must have been had to set the bottom planks and braces that were steel, and some rubber and everything. I mean, you gotta get. They were holding millions of pounds of ship. And then they got it all set up, and then they started letting the water out. And I would get a chance every once in a while, because I had a whole bunch of duties to do, to go out and look over the side, way over, and see it. And if I couldn't see it, I could go down the gangplank and see the water going out. And it went down, and it went down, and it went down, and it went down. And it went down. We were about 250 feet up. It went down to 250 feet, and it kept going down. And I slept at night. The next morning, I got up and I looked, and I could see where it just curved around the bottom. And they had a big bulb in the front that was a stabilizer and a huge radar unit. And that thing was so impressive. I mean, you stood like an ant next to an elephant. Or even smaller. What?
All I can say is that would definitely not get into a compact parking space.
Well, look who I got here. I have my friend Jeff, and it was wonderful. And I got to sit there and help them design things around the weapons department and get it and install it during that time. And it was great. And I got to see all these repairs. They had hundreds, thousands actually, of men coming on, because they had to get it done fairly quickly, because we were going to head back to Vietnam. And it was some awesome building. Man, and leaving was the same experience. And I'll tell you, that was what you call a big repair job.
Old man's story, just one more day. Coming back in the USS Enterprise.